Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another episode of the Chocolate Check. Inshallah, today I'd like to deal with this whole matter with P. Diddy, Sean Combs. I'd first like to say that, of course, this is a man who is now in deep trouble because of some of the things apparently that he was supposed to have done. And we're going to say allegedly he's done these things. You see, one of the things that we learn as moral men is that before we believe anything, we want to make sure that we verify it. It has to be verified. Without careful scrutiny about people's behaviors and the things that might put them in jail or in prison, we want to make sure that everything that's alleged against a man, of course, can be verified. Otherwise, we live by the rule in this country that everybody is innocent until proven guilty. Now, with that being said, we know for sure that in this country that you could go to jail on a simple allegation. All it takes is for someone to say, especially if you're a male, and a woman says that you did something to her, or if you are a child and a child says, particularly to a man, that you've done something, that you will be handcuffed and you will be taken to jail and you will sit there until you can prove those allegations false. So although we're supposedly living in a country that tells us that we are innocent until proven guilty, you could still be held against your will. You could still be detained. You could still be jailed until those allegations are proven false. That's just the sad reality of the country that we live in. Now, I bring this thing up tonight because the Sheikh hates gossip. And I hate turning on my television and seeing the news. And of course, again, going into these social media streets and seeing that everybody's attacking the same person that just a little while ago they praised. Amazing, right? That this same man that everybody told us, especially the dominant society, they always want to point their little fingers at the Black American and tell us that people like Oprah and Sean Combs and the Jacksons and all of these other sports figures and entertainers that, hey, they're successful. Why can't the rest of you be successful? And then as we see Black Americans become successful, we see them get knocked down one by one by one. So it seems that if you get a certain level of success, that folks are actually, especially in the dominant society, they're actually looking for you to fail. They want to see you fail. They want to see you fall. We can go right on down the line of our Michaels, right? Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, and our famous boxer, Michael Tyson. Not to mention now, Sean Combs. And again, I could do this almost all day, calling out the names of Black Americans who met the end that apparently Sean Combs is going to meet. So what am I aiming at? In the Western world, we're told that we're supposed to go for all the money. We're told that we must do what we can do and should do to get money. And with this money, we get power, right? Because we don't just want to make money. People don't talk about money for money's sake. It's not like you're just taking money and piling it up inside of a bank. No, they're saying that you get money so that that money can help you to acquire things. In a capitalistic society like the one we live in a materialistic world or universe, I should say, like the one we live in, promoted by the Western world, promoted by their ethics, promoted by their mindset, promoted by their philosophies, that's supposed to make you powerful, that with money, you can get access, you can get power. But when we see these Black men start to get money and they start to get power or they start to get access, Then one by one, they're knocked down before their deaths. Very interesting. So we bring this up to first of all say that this is all hypocrisy. It's just a whole a whole world of hypocrisy. The fact that people, they egg you on and they clap you on. Yes, go ahead and do that. Oh, look at Sean Combs. Look at Michael Jordan. Look at Michael Tyson. Look at Michael Jackson. And they clap them. Yeah, look at them, R. Kelly, etc. Go on down the line. It'll be Jay-Z and the rest of them next as they start to acquire more money and more power. Fact is, the things that are now being levied against Sean Combs are the very things that in this society they tell us that we're supposed to aspire for. These are the very things. To get the money so you can get what? A bunch of women. So you can get what? Whatever other sinful proclivity that you lean toward. Boys. Right? This is what they tell us. Oh, you have access to all these things. You have access to children. Right? You have access to drugs. You have access to that way of life. And everyone in the Western world, the materialists, that's what they want. Everyone knows that's exactly why you want to get money, so that you could have this access and you could have this power, so that you can do the things that you want to do, so you can be free to do as you please. That's what they teach us. Now, when that starts to happen, all of a sudden, there's a who and a cry and a condemnation against the very people who achieve these goals. Now, that's hypocritical, but it goes to show you that this whole ordeal, right, this whole way of life, this whole way of thinking, this whole philosophy is false, is short, it's sinful, it's demonic, it's actually devilish. These people aren't anything but devils. And then they put the carrot out there before you and tell you this is how you're supposed to live. Yes, this is how we're supposed to be. And then when you actually become that, they come down on you with a hammer. Now, I've looked at the allegations that they have against Sean Combs, and I'm not convinced that he really did anything wrong, according to these people's way of thinking, according to their laws. All I see is people who basically, from what I can see, at least at this moment, have been consensual about everything they've done. Maybe here and there, there's someone who's saying, well, I believe that this person was too aggressive with me. Or I believe that this person may have taken my body. All right. Again, we're on YouTube, so we have to be very careful about what we say on YouTube. We have to use their language, right? So now women will come forward and say, well, this is what happened to me. All the while, this was going on. And this goes on every day of the week in the Western world. Every second of the moment or the minute, this is going on. Every minute of the hour, every hour of the day. And everybody knows it. So now we get this young man, like the ones in the past, who will now be crushed. And probably he, unlike some of the others, won't be able to come back as the black uncle. You know, that's another thing they do. They build us up. I'm talking about black American men. Then they tear you down. And after they build you up and tear you down, there might be a possibility, if you stay alive, that 20 years from now, 30 years from now, he'll be Uncle Sean Combs. The same way they did Muhammad Ali, right? Remember the great Muhammad Ali? How they hated on that man. They hated that man. And then through the years, they fell in love with him. Remember that? And when he died as that paternalistic uncle. Before that, when he was a young man, a strong man, when he was fierce, when he could speak, when he had full faculty of his senses, he was one of the most hated men in America, not only because he was a black man, but also because he was a Muslim. And he basically told them to go to hell with their religion. He told them to go to hell with their way of life and started following the code of Islam under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, this heterodox form of Islam. And then ultimately, he evolved in becoming a Muslim, an Orthodox Muslim. Still telling them to go to hell, but not as fierce. He's older. He got sick. And once he got older and sick and got to the point where he couldn't speak anymore, now he became uncle. Now they want to invite him to the Olympics to hold the torch. You know, the famous scene of him holding the torch while he's sitting there shaking with the disease that he had that ultimately took his life. This is the country we live in. This is the world that we live in. So I cry foul on what it is that's happening to Sean Combs, because the very people who are pointing their fingers at Puffy, P. Diddy, these are the very same people who themselves are doing or will do the exact same thing if they had the means to do it, if they had the money, the power, the access. Because again, that's what we're taught in the Western society, that this is what it's all about. This is what the great white father taught us. This is what the great white father does. So I guess we're supposed to do these things and not get caught. I guess that's a part of the rule, right? So long as you do what you do and you don't get caught, it's all good. But now we know that all of these people participate, and they continue to participate in these parties and these boat trips and these other things that they're now condemning him about. And the whole idea that he's being condemned for the fact that he had sex parties. What is illegal about having sex parties in the United States of America? What is illegal about that? All manners of behaviors, all manners of sexuality, all manners of things are going on in these rich people's homes and at these parties. In fact, they go on at working class people homes and parties. I know that right here where I live. We have people participating in these very things. Hell, I've been invited to them right off of my job. I've been invited to these things. Come on out. You know, come sit with us. Come look at it. Come see it. Oh, it's very thrilling. It's exciting. Oh, yeah. Even myself, I've been invited to these things. People who think, you know, maybe he'll come and check it out, right? It makes them feel normal. It makes it feel acceptable when they can get the moral man, the ethical people, the religious folk to participate. Because some of the people that participate, they wear crosses around their necks. They call themselves Christians, or they might even call themselves Muslims or Jews for sure. And we know this for sure. So this is what people are participating in, even when they are religious people, right? Because of the fact that they can have access to these types of people. To say that I was sitting in a room with somebody like Sean Combs, I was sitting in a room with some other famous person, they'll come out, right? They'll come out and take a look so they can have that proximity to that fame and that power and that money. And again, gaining access through invitation. Now they condemn him. Now they come down on him. Now all of a sudden, he's a bad guy. I just don't buy it. I don't buy it the same way I didn't buy the fact that they showed a film of this man beating on his ex-wife or his previous lover. The fact that they showed that to try to make him look like he's some type of animal or something outside of the norm, when we know, again, these things go on every day of the week, every second of the minute, every minute of the hour, and every hour of the day, right here in these United States of America. And not just by people who are famous. This goes on in regular households. Right now, as I speak, this is probably happening right here in my neighborhood where I live. But again, all of a sudden, people are shocked. The hypocrisy of it is rank. And to make, again, another black man look like an animal, the things that they said about Michael Jackson. These things are very disturbing if they're true. And they're even more disturbing if they're not, because we could never actually say that that man did that. All we had was allegations that came from people who had motive. They had a motivation to do that, to make more money. The same way that things happen with R. Kelly and the rest of them. And I'll be the first to say that I know these men have done immoral things. I know they have. We heard it in the streets before the white folks came down on them and now are arresting them for it and putting them in prison for it. We heard these things. We knew at least we thought we knew, because we were hearing the rumors. Now, with that being said, I'm not saying that these guys are innocent. I'm saying, in fact, the stuff could be true, but it has to be proven. Right now, these are allegations. And we know that in this country, race, sex, economics, all of this matters when we start to look at why people do what they do in America. Why it is that they're coming after this man. What did he do? What did he try to acquire? Did he try to buy something? Did he try to become too powerful? Was he moving outside of his lane, as we say? Was he getting too big for his britches? Because one thing for sure, we know about America, if you get too big for your britches and you're a black man, these folks got a way of putting you right back in your place, don't they? In fact, they used to tell us that to our faces. Boy, get back in your place. Who do you think you are, boy? You think you're like me? And on that note, you would think that black Americans would have learned that lesson. Our politicians, our ministers, religious leaders, people who think that once they acquire a certain position, they can do like the great white man does. And that because I have money and it has given me certain power and access, it's given me certain position in the society. People look up to me like I'm a somebody now. We think that we can do as we please. Jay-Z and all of them have these stories about how it is that they are sitting here as billionaires and can't join certain clubs because they're being told that, no, you can't join this club, Negro. Are you crazy? Do you actually think you're like us and you can be like us and do what we do? This is the game they play. And I, for the life of me, can't figure out why it is that black Americans, of all people that live in the Western world, would fall for that. Would ever think that these people who are sitting at the top, these elites, would ever accept us in as a part of their world, as a part of their universe. You get set up to get knocked down. So I wanted to say a couple of words about that tonight, because I see it as nothing but rank hypocrisy. And I pray that those of us who are looking on the situation don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. No, we don't hold anything against Sean Combs until they prove that he actually did something to break the law. These drugs they claim that he had. If he had these drugs and they were using them at these parties, of course, that's against the law. Was he the only one? And the very people who are pointing fingers at him and the very people who now want to imprison him, are they not also drug users? So we're right back to the hypocrisy again. Or I guess we're supposed to go along, well, you can't get caught. Or is that the game? You see, this is all the devil. This is all Satan. This is all low life and low vibration behavior. So for those of us who are in the working class, for those of us who happen to be those who don't have certain power, money, or access, this is a lesson for us. Yet again, another lesson, another black man that they're knocking down like they did Bill Cosby when he tried to acquire, right? When Bill Cosby tried to buy NBC, when he started to try to move to do things that we're taught in this society, hey, you're supposed to do. Hey, this is the way. This is the way, right? And then when you do it, all of a sudden now you have problems, right? All of a sudden now they come down on you with their condemnations, right? They come down on you with their allegations. So I just wanted to point out that we should be very careful about what it is they're saying about this man. They should be forced to prove it. And for the things that he did do and others are doing that are outside of the what is righteous and what is good, it's a lesson for those of us who are looking on. Be careful, brothers and sisters, especially you young ones who might take a look at this video. Be careful. This is how the devil moves. This is how the devil does. This is the devil's way of life. Be careful. This is a warning. All right, we'll wrap up this video. Inshallah, God willing, we'll talk about this and some of the other things in another video. I pray all is well with you. If you like what you heard, do me a favor and like this particular video. And if you have not already, please subscribe to my channel. Y'all take care out there. Peace.